morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to the Sixth Bugle Podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Ruiz, and today we have a very special guest all the way down from the great state of Georgia, a former fire chief and current assistant city administrator, Dr. Joe Pennino. Doc, how are you, sir?
Fantastic, Rudy. Such a pleasure to be on your show with you today. It's very exciting. I've been looking forward to it for some time.
Yeah, so have I. We've been getting some pretty heavy hitters lately. And I thought I got to get Dr. Joe on this call, man. I gotta, keep up the reputation here. We got some pretty good guests here lately. Thank you very much for taking the time. I know you're a very busy man, so I do appreciate it. So you've recently just been promoted to the deputy, yes, or the assistant city administrator?
Yeah, so 3.5 years as fire chief here in the city of Roswell, and now transition into the city government here as a deputy city administrator at the city of Roswell.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I know they saw your skill set and they said, "Oh, we got to get him up here in the front offices." And it certainly is a loss for the fire service, but I'm sure it's a major gain for the city of Roswell. And they know that you're going to look out for the fire service, for the fire department there in Roswell, because you're very intimate with them, and you know the ins and outs, right? And I know the members are going to look out and make sure that they're going to work together with you.
100%. I'll always have a heart for the Roswell Fire Department.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good team. So, the what I want to talk about is your topic that you had scheduled for the this year's 2025 EFO Symposium. Man, I tell you, we had a great lineup this year. We had Dr. David Griffin, we had Daniel Mazurkowski, we even had Shane Ray here, and of course you. We were very, very happy with the outcome, the outpouring of the candidates that submitted their proposals for their speaking engagement, and we were really excited. And then, one thing led to another, and now we're where we're at now. And the hope is that we want to continue with the EFO symposium sometime in October. But fingers crossed. Hopefully, we'll be able to pull that off. It's just postponed for now. But I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, we can have it happening. So your topic was elevating fire service leadership, mastering the five tenets. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's just a leadership philosophy that I kind of came up with in working with the Roswell Fire Department. Um, as the name suggests, there's five components to it. And basically, it's number one, having clear expectations and accountability, making sure that everybody is working as one team and that there's collaboration, um, building strong relationships both internally and externally with your internal and external stakeholders, making sure that you have an inspiring vision, which is the why behind the team itself, and then communicating all of those things effectively. That's really the cornerstone of the five tenets.
Good. So have you been teaching this around the country, around your area?
Yeah, I've been doing it locally, but then also at some of the conferences, whether it's Fire Rescue International or Southeast Chiefs Conference, just trying to get it out there in hopes that it helps others.
When I read about it, I thought, well, this is great news. And you would think that this is something that everybody should be doing anyway. I won't say it's basic, but it's something that's it's a solid foundation, right? You need to have good, solid communication. You need to be able to work together as a team and share your vision with not just the internal stakeholders, but the external stakeholders. And because they're the ones that are ultimately going to support you overall, right? And it's who you serve. So, but sometimes we have to be reminded of that. I remember I used to work for the post office, and my postmaster used to say, "Let's get back to the basics, back to the basics." And so, how true is that? You get to the technical parts of it, and next thing you know, you become complacent. You forget what you're really there for, what you're really all about.
Yeah, you're 100% right. Some of these are so simple and foundational. I certainly did not come up with any of them, just put them together in a way that could be articulated very clearly. You know, the first one, clear expectations and accountability. No one's going to disagree with that. And what that looks like for us is when I came in as a new fire chief, or if I have a new team member, I have written expectations that I'd be happy to share with anybody. They're very, very basic, but just basically articulating, here's what's expected of you. Here's what you can expect from me from a feedback standpoint and how I can support you in your role. Um, and sometimes just talking through that makes a difference because we, as leaders, we owe it to our team members to have clear expectations. We can't expect them to be successful if they don't know what the goal line is. So making sure that you have those clear expectations. And from the accountability standpoint, accountability sometimes feels like a bad word, but it's really not. It's providing feedback, both good and bad. If somebody's doing something great, you acknowledge that. If there's room for improvement, making sure that you're delivering that feedback appropriately because most of us just want to know how we can be successful.
Right, exactly. And the accountability goes both ways, right? It's this is what you expected of me. If I failed to do that, then you have to let me know because
That's right.
sometimes, the things get in the way. You know how governments are, and sometimes it gets in the way, and then you kind of lose focus. But ultimately, you yourself have to get back on track as well. And once that happens, that's where the communication piece comes in, right? So that we have those open lines of communication. Now we can make sure that we're clear as opposed to being afraid to offend anybody or be considered a difficult or challenging employee, anything like that. So I'm sure you're taking that philosophy to the next level for the city of Roswell. I'm sure that's working out for you.
Yeah, there's a saying that Brene Brown uses in her book Clear as Kind, or her book um, Dare to Lead is the book, and it's clear as kind, right? So a lot of times we feel sometimes that we could be being harsh by giving people that feedback. In reality, we're looking out in their best interest. We're not helping them if we are not telling them how they can improve. And oftentimes, what I've seen in my career is people will like to talk about other people and what they're doing wrong instead of having the courageous conversation with that person, which, if done right, can really increase and improve trust and garner respect on both sides.
Right. And as long as they have that understanding, I'm not here to criticize you. I'm here to kind of help you grow.
Right.
And maybe you can come to a conclusion together. If I have a certain philosophy in mind that this is how you should be doing your job on a regular basis, they might have a different point of view. You know as well as I do the different generations that are in the fire service now, and not just in the fire service, but in any team or any business or corporation, you have those differences of opinion, differences of beliefs, how they were raised, how they were educated, where they came from, the neighborhoods, things like that. That's what's going to make the difference. And you have to understand where each one comes from so that you have a better understanding of each other. And there could be a time where they may not, or may know how to do things better, right?
That's right. Yeah. So that's another one of the tenets, like having that one team mindset and that collaboration. And it's really setting the stage that, look, just because I'm the leader doesn't mean I have all the answers. The strength comes from the team. So we need to work on breaking down silos, making sure, in the fire service, we always got the clicks of the stations and the shifts and everything else. And if you're in if you're in community risk reduction, you've got this click and that's all good. Some of that is pride and ownership in your crew and your station, but making sure that there's that overarching that we succeed and fail as a team. A failure for one of us is a failure for the team. So making sure that we are all looking out for one another and having that we're all one team mindset.
Absolutely. And when just before I retired, we had gone through the whole COVID ordeal, and I knew I made a lot of mistakes, and I'm humble enough to admit that and say that I apologize to the few folks that I led at the time, but I moved on from that, and hopefully, and I'm sure that they have too. But there are cases where you're a human being, and you're going to make mistakes, and you're gonna fall. As long as you fall forward and dust yourself off and say, "All right, let's not do that again," right?
That's
And
right.
and I always tell my daughter, so what did you learn from that? Just don't be upset. Life is going to be difficult, and you're going to have adversity all throughout your life. Instead of being upset about it or crying in a corner, just ask yourself, what did I just learn from that? Or why am I being taught this lesson? Right? And that's how you grow. So, and that's what your program is basically all about.
Yeah, as you're coming up through leadership and your career, you're going to make mistakes. And I think having that growth mindset of knowing that, hey, mistakes are a part of learning. I don't know everything now. I can be weak in some spots, but I know I can improve. And as long as I'm trying, as long as I'm putting my best foot forward and I'm leaning into discomfort, I'll make mistakes, but growth comes from that. It's keeping that mindset and not getting defeated by it.
Absolutely. So, Dr. Joe, what we do here on the Sixth Bugle is we want to try to encourage the fire chiefs or the leaders of the fire departments to recognize that you have a solid resource with your administrative assistant or your executive assistant. And they have a lot of talent, they have a lot of skill, and a ton of ability. And they want to be a part of the team. They want to be an active role, have an active role. They understand that, in most cases they're not sworn, but they do believe that they can participate in a lot of different activities other than just maintaining your schedule and checking off your emails, right? There's so much more because they do see a lot of things that are happening between both labor and management, and they're a good, solid resource. And you had a couple yourself, and I know that when we had Antoine show up for one of our conferences early, and then Lori showed up the last year. So you got a great team there yourself. Tell us a little bit about your experiences with them.
So Antoine and Lori are two phenomenal human beings, and I can't say enough about them. I'll say that coming into my position as fire chief, had a lot to kind of get my head wrapped around. And at the time, there were some administrative assistants in the fire headquarters. I had no idea how to utilize that position or what that position could do. And it took me probably a year and a half until I got to the point where I could start assessing that. So, Antoine was my first administrative assistant that I really partnered with, and he did such a phenomenal job. He went to your program, obviously, as you mentioned, came back so full of energy and uh, prepared to tell me what we should be doing, which I appreciate wholeheartedly. He learned so much. We really started to gel and got a good routine together, and then uh, just because of his talent, he actually went and got hired by our human resources department, which was a promotion for him. Uh, Super proud of him. Now, as my role as deputy city administrator, I oversee the human resources department. So Antoine and I are back together again. He's right down the hall from me. And then we actually upgraded that position to executive assistant and brought in Lori Lewis, another phenomenal human being and graduate of your program. And the goal with her when she moved into my office was we are going to set this up right, use her strengths and talents to her full capacity, to the point where I don't touch my email and I don't touch my calendar, period. We learned the hard way that we can't both meddle in these things. So my day's full of meetings, working with people, doing things to um, improve the city, long-term strategy. And she's working right alongside me all day, um, looking at the emails that are coming in, even ghostwriting email responses for me, managing the calendar and making sure that I'm going where I need to go and I'm on time and I'm prepped for those meetings and I have talking points and everything squared away. And quite honestly, Rudy, I don't know that I could do this job without her. I'm not sure that I could.
You know what? I totally believe you. I know you're speaking from the heart. Lori's a very wonderful person. You can see that in her eyes, and she is truly a gem of a person. And she enjoyed the conference. She did learn a lot, and the most important thing was she got to talk with other administrative assistants. Some have
Right.
gone through, bad administrators. Some have gone through good ones. But the fact was to see them getting together, networking together, and learning something new, and seeing the them come to fruition on the third day. Man, that's powerful to be able to witness that myself. I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it,
That's
Doc.
right.
It's a great feeling, and that's why I keep doing it. You know, we're not making a lot of money. I'll be brutally honest with you, but we love putting this program on. We have people coming back year after year. This is our fourth year. We even had people as far away. This year we have someone registered from South Dakota, first
Oh,
time.
wow.
So yeah, so we have eight different states that are being represented, and we're just having a wonderful time doing it. And we absolutely love Lori and Antoine. You know, we were sad that he didn't come back, but let him know that he's welcome to come back. It doesn't have to be fire service administrator.
I absolutely will. I'll tell you a story about just how important those positions are
Sure, go
to
ahead.
leaders in an organization. So full transparency, the Roswell Fire Department, 3.5 years in, was in a really, really good place to the point where I felt like I could step into a new challenge. I was entertaining a role in another state in city management. And for whatever reason, the mayor and city administrator here said, "What can we do to keep you here?" And I just said, "I just want to fix things. I want a broader role. I want to get involved in other things." And they said, "Well, what do we need to do to keep you here?" So we had a lot of conversation about what the needs were in the city and how I could best support the city. But my caveat was I take the team with me. So that meant Alex Thames, who's my fire data manager, phenomenal human being, super sharp. And then Lori Lewis, obviously my executive assistant, um, actually negotiated that when I was going to City Hall, they would come with me. Luckily, they both agreed to it and said, "Yeah, we're game. Let's do it." And now Lori has moved from executive assistant to the team that I supervise of the different departments is called the team of planning, performance, and innovation. So she's now the planning, performance, and innovation coordinator. And she started in the fire service where she had no local government experience. And now she routinely is in meetings with all the executives in the city, corresponding with the mayor. It's just amazing to see her growth and how much value she brings to this organization.
Oh, absolutely. I can see her now just enjoying every bit of it, accepting the challenge and doing well at it. Again, gonna make mistakes, that's okay, but you know, she's gonna learn from those because she's a very solid person and tell her we want her to come back. You know, we miss her. She made some very good friends and shared a lot of joy and a lot of memories for a lot of other people. So we're certainly going to miss her if she doesn't come back. But
It's, it's
that
definitely a testament to the program, Rudy. I feel like I would be remiss if I didn't say that. Some of the networking relationships that she's built there and stuff that she's learned is directly transferable to what she's doing now.
excellent. Well, I appreciate that, Doc. I do appreciate you, appreciate your time here. I know I keep hearing good things about Roswell. I'm thinking, I tell my wife, hey man, maybe we should move down to Georgia. You know, yeah, we're retired here. We don't have to stay.
Come on down.
It's a wonderful city. It looks like you have a lot of good things going on there.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Doc, thank you again for joining us here on the Sixth Bugle Podcast. We certainly do appreciate it. Tell Antoine and Lori we said hello and that we miss them dearly. And hopefully sometime we can all meet again. Doc, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Rudy. My
All right.
pleasure.
Here, we'll see you.